Hey, what's going on everyone? Sparks again with another character discussion video. Winter ended in the northern hemisphere not too long ago, but that doesn't mean all the ice is melted. Celeste is back with a rework and an LD, bringing with her some magical ice. She was a very early purple for me, back near the start of Chaos and putting in a lot of work, sitting nicely at tier 2 of Entropy ever since it first launched. I was fortunate and got her LD, so if you want to know what this Magitech Knight does, what she offers to a team, and what I think of her, stick around and find out. Celeste is a tank who specializes in dealing with magic damage, and in a magic focused fight can neutralize all single target threats. She has high survivability thanks to Will Last Stand, a personal HP regen as well as a team heal, group lock, and large amounts of Brave regen and Brave return. Thanks to her rework, she also becomes a party ice enchanter, but only applying a generic ice imperil. Her skill rotation is good thanks to a quick EX recast, and with her LD, she gets another means of applying her imperil, her lock, and a new trap debuff that will heal and battery the party. Her skill 1 is Shine Edge, a 5-hit magic attack. This will give Celeste buffs for max bravery and HP regen, heal the party, and refund Celeste based on the HP damage dealt. This will also apply an Ice Imperil to all targets. Her skill 2 is Runic, which first batteries the party based on Celeste's initial bravery, locks all targets, and then does a 2-hit single target magic attack. This grants Celeste a small attack up, but more importantly, grants her Brave Magic Absorb, a frame buff that lets her turn any magic brave damage she would have taken into bravery. This is a stacking buff that is increased by absorbing an attack or casting the skill again, with each stack providing a higher max bravery boost. On top of that, for Celeste it lowers physical brave damage taken, for her allies it lowers magic brave damage taken, and for the whole party it provides an ice enchant and lowers HP damage taken. While Brave Magic Absorb is active, her HP attack gets enhanced to gain 2 ice hits, Party Battery, and will apply Lock, while for 4 turns after Runic is used, her Brave attack is enhanced to 1 ice hit. Her EX is Spinning Edge, at base a 5-hit magic attack. This will give Celeste a greater generic attack buff than what Shine Edge gives her, and a new unique buff, Rune Knight, which boosts her magic attack, her HP regen, and grants her Brave regen. Her EX Plus is a big part of what made her so good back in the day, getting a good boost at Realization and a good assortment of boosts with ingots. Realization grants the cast overflow, but more importantly is a second recast speed upgrade, taking this EX from slightly slow to basically slightly fast, making it available like every other turn. 1 ingot is a good offensive stat boost, but it also adds a max bravery aura to Rune Knight, as well as giving her starting buffs from her EX cast. 2 ingots give Celeste 30% HP damage return at the end of the cast, arguably the weakest ingot, but it keeps her high bravery, which will be important later. 3 ingots turns the EX cast into a set of 2 hits followed by 5 hits, greatly improving the efficiency as thanks to Celeste's regen and the Brave Magic Absorb, she's usually at high bravery. It also further increases the potency and the overflow of the cast. Her LD is Freeze Dive, 3 group ice magic hits, 20% HP damage return, and then 8 group ice magic hits. This move does several things. It heals and batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt, and onto all targets applies an Ice Imperil after the first HP attack, along with a lock and a new debuff, Magitech Ice Block. This debuff increases brave damage taken and also triggers the trap attack of the same name after that enemy acts, which first self-batteries Celeste based on her initial bravery before a 3-hit ice attack that heals and batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt. The LD passive raises Celeste's attack as well as the party's attack. Celeste, as mentioned earlier, was an incredibly solid unit despite how early she released in Chaos. While she did have some offensive issues, the fact that she completely nullified threats in magic heavy fights meant that she was a defensive powerhouse, with her only shortcoming being her single target lock before the rework. Super efficient damage per turn was not the biggest constraint in Chaos as it is in Lufenia nowadays, at least not that I can remember. So even though Celeste would usually just stay near max bravery, the fact that the rest of your party could for the most part just go to town on enemies with little fear made up for it. With that in mind, her LD works wonderfully with what she already has and adds some more. The fact that she gains an HP attack after enemy attacks means that she'll no longer suffer from leaking Absorb Bravery on enemy turns. It being a party heal and a battery source as well as the increasing brave damage taken are all bonuses. Her rework also very fluidly adds to her kit, providing party defensive boosts where there weren't any before, more defense for Celeste for physical damage specifically, and a party ice enchant, one that's much easier to maintain than Onion Knights. This combined with Shine Edges and her LD's Ice Imperil makes her a plug and play enabler similar to Kuja. Unfortunately, her Imperil isn't framed. But still, with her LD and rework, she's like an icy, tank-oriented Furion, and Furion has recently become one of my favorite units thanks to his very effective flexibility. As the game continues and more units and upgrades get released, the tank role as a whole gets shifted around. As HP damage up debuffs and calls become more common, it becomes more and more viable to essentially rush enemies down, giving them as few turns as possible. Some fights will still require you to give enemies turns for some reason or other, and others will make enemies take turns after some amount of party actions, but overall, relentless offense becomes more of a common thing that can be done. As such, tanks that don't offer some high level of offensive party support outside of just tanking hits are gonna lose their shine. Gladio offers battery and counters, Warrior of Light with his extension offers extra regen and damage up effects, Galoof gains a second counter, Zac gains some great auras and a fantastic offensive rework, and Auron with his LD actually becomes a single target cover tank with a pretty great counter. Celes honestly does get some of this fun thanks to her Enchant Imperil for party turns and her Trap debuff for enemy turns. While her trap debuff is useful for the other offensive units thanks to the Brave damage up, there are better options to use when considering debuff stacking as a call, and she cannot provide an ice enchant without being on the field. With all of that in mind, while Celes has already gotten a rerun alongside Kryl during the Lael Burst intro event, she did not get any further adjustments. With the way true tanks and off tanks have shaped up, Celes doesn't need much to be caught up to speed. The two most important things in my opinion would be giving Magitech Ice Block and Ice Imperil as part of it. Sure, it would technically double up with the generic peril she can do, but it means that it's not going to fall off anymore besides a full enemy cleanse. Secondly, give it HP damage up. This gives her debuff, and by extension, her, a better presence on the field for the main damage unit. For a little bit extra, have her LD increase Runic's offensive benefits further. Give it an extra boost to both party brave and HP weakness damage. To further improve the trap, give it group damage so each individual one is better. Possibly also give it higher limits for the party battery and the heal to complement that. For her base skills, improve them a little bit. Give Shine Edge an efficiency adjustment that corresponds with the animation, similar to how Spinning Edge is, and then give Runic like 2 or 3 more Brave hits. None of this is to say that Celes moving forward becomes bad. She finds a great spot for herself in Transcendence 5. But if they wanted to bring her up to the new offensive standards true tanks and off tanks seem to be getting, this would be a start. So yeah, that's a purple Celes. She's interesting in that despite having such an old realization, the strength of her niche in her role means that with just a bit of creative adjustment and a great LD, she's suddenly a great and flexible unit for Lufenia. Her LD adds to her kit in a way that synergizes with something that her kit was already doing, while her rework improves on her defenses and gives her more offensive support. As time goes on, Celes will naturally suffer from some power creep, most specifically offensive power creep, but there will be other means of damage boosting that will be readily accessible. She's an A-rank tank for now, maintaining that without question for Magic-specific fights, but dropping as other, more offensively capable tanks come out. Leon gains a trap debuff and has his party-wide damage absorption thing. Galoof gains a second counter, Gladio is Gladio, and even Zac comes back with his crazy high damage modifiers. Units who offer more will come out, that's how gachas work, but where she can, Celes will offer many great things to your party. If you like this character breakdown and want to see others like it, other Opera Omnia content, or want to share your thoughts, be sure to stick around and subscribe. Discussion, likes, and shares are always appreciated, and as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.